Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Juan Rodriguez, your host, and welcome to the Allyz Community Podcast. Today, we're going to have an amazing podcast, but it's not about vehicles. Today, we're going to be talking about home remodeling. Here in the Central Florida area, we just had some floods and some hurricanes. So I know a lot of people are looking into hiring a contractor, picking the right contractor, seeing what choices they have, what they can do with the funds of the insurance company, or maybe you're just paying out of pocket. So here today, I'm so excited. I have a great friend, industry professional. He's a consultant for businesses too, but he works at a very special place here in Orlando. Somebody that I love. I've been spending years besides the owner, the CEO of the company. His name is Rigo Tile, the name of the company. But the person who we're going to be interviewing is Julio Negron. And Julio Negron runs the operations of Rigo Tile Gallery here in Orlando. And for us, it's a pleasure and honor to have a company that aligns with our values and they do the right thing for the right reasons for the right people, which is the consumer. And that's our promise to the Orlando community. That's why the Allyz podcast was founded, because we want to bring the truth and be light on the darkness, where in different industries, especially in the one that I'm in, that mainly is insurance paid, third party paid claims, there's a lot of darkness and the consumer is being deceived. And I know I have made plenty of mistakes myself on my years of hiring the wrong contractors, and I had some horror stories that we're going to be sharing here. And this is what it's all about: sharing our heart, sharing with the Orlando community that not all companies are the same, and they're companies that have ethics and values, and they serve the community the right way. They're not going to be the cheapest, because good value comes with a premium. And we want to make sure that our community understands that good is not always cheap, is not always better. Julio, welcome to our podcast. Thank you for being here with us.
My pleasure, Juan. Thank you. And I congratulate you on your effort in keeping our community informed of many topics throughout your different podcasts. It's a pleasure to be here and helping you out and sharing with you as much as I can regarding at least this other industry, which is the flooring industry and the remodeling of residences for our consumers.
So please tell us a little bit about yourself and why Rigo Tile, how long Rigo Tile has been in business, and what is their vision and their mission to serve the Orlando community.
Well, Rigo Tile has been in business for over 20 years. And our founder, Rigoberto Cabrera, was a tile setter for many, many, many years in the Central Florida area. At that time, over 20 years ago, he saw an opportunity to provide services and knowledge mainly to the Hispanic community that at that time was a small fraction of the entire Central Florida community, but it was growing, and he had a vision. And he started offering his services and his knowledge in the tile industry to different community members, Hispanic community members. And as such, he was fortunate to have a member of his church to sponsor him while starting out the business. And today, he's a household name in the Hispanic community, wherein deals with floor tiles and retail flooring and remodeling of bathroom spaces, shower spaces, kitchens, and indoor spaces. And we've been very successful. We provide as a retailer, we provide all the materials that are needed for remodeling, including tiles or carpets or vinyl, laminates, hardwood, anything that is a floor covering, we provide. We also provide the materials that are necessary to install them properly. And we also provide the installation of the materials that we sell. We have had the fortune of having a group of independent installers, independent contractors that have been with us for over a decade. Every single week, they get assigned a new project, and they are not our employees. They are independent contractors, but they've been working for, like I said, over 10 years, every single week with us because that's the volume of business that we generate. So we've been fortunate in that regard to have the Hispanic community sponsor us. We have been fortunate that our main mode of marketing is referral business. Over 70% of our sales come to existing clients that are once again doing some renovation project, or someone that comes in being referred by a former client of ours. So the reason why we have such a high volume is because we care. We care about our consumers and about our customers. And when a client walks into the door of one of our stores, we currently have 2 stores. We have one in Orlando, just off Goldenrod, almost at the corner with Colonial. That's at 1351 North Goldenrod Road in Orlando. And we also have another store in Kissimmee. When you're exiting Kissimmee towards St. Cloud, heading east on State Road 192, also known as Earlo Bronson Memorial Highway, we're there just before the Ford dealership, Rigo Tiles. So we've been very fortunate that we've been sponsored by the community, and the reason being is that when you walk into our store as a consumer and you have some project in mind, being that maybe your child's doctor told you, listen, this allergy that your son or your daughter is experiencing might improve if you remove the carpets from your home and you install hard surfaces such as either tile or laminate or vinyl. And when they walk into the door to explore that possibility, many of them come and they have no idea of what they're going to purchase or what they should purchase. And our sales executives, they are not order takers. If you come into our store and you say, listen, I like that particular tile, how much is the price on it? You're not going to get a direct reply. You're not going to get a direct response. Our sales associate is going to ask you, well, may I ask, what is it that you need that particular tile for? And they're going to try to explore and get into a conversation with you to understand better your situation, to understand better what is it that you are trying to resolve, and to make certain that whatever purchase you make, which is an investment, that it will be the best and the most cost-effective for you. And it might not be that tile that caught your eye when you walked into the door. That might not be your best option. But they will give you several options, all of which will result in a solution to your problem. So basically, we have a full sales staff that are concerned with building a relationship with our consumers and making certain that the consumer buys the best possible option within their budget. And that's the reason why we get such a high level of recurring business and such a high volume of positive reviews, which we are delighted.
And that's beautiful. That's all about doing kingdom business, doing business the right way.
Correct.
And when you build, it's not just a sale, it's a relationship, and you're going to be a customer for life. And one thing, Julio has been my customer, and that's why we align. I only align, and the people that we're going to bring to this podcast is people and businesses and professionals that align perfectly with our values, what we model and what we do for the community. And the podcast today is going to be about how to pick the right home remodel contractor. So Julio, please, I got into a hurricane came. Now a couple of my windows were leaking, and my floors, I have hardwood floors, and they'll work now. And I called my insurance and I make a claim, and now I got to replace my flooring. What can I do, and how would you give me a good consultation so I can make sure first that my insurance company doesn't take advantage of me, and then that I'm made whole, and then what to watch out when I hire a contractor? Please enlighten us with that.
Okay. Well, the first thing you should do is precisely what you mentioned. You should get your insurance company involved, and they have some guidance that you will need to follow. Eventually, you will come to a tile flooring or to a flooring company or a flooring store. And the way we conduct the business is that we make an appointment with you to visit your property. And our sales executive will go to your property, take a look at it. They will take pictures, they will take videos, they will take measurements. They will verify in detail the damage that has occurred. There might be damage beyond flooring. Maybe it's more than just the hardwood that is now warped. It could be running within the walls and you have not noticed it. We will advise you of that, and we might tell you to contact a restoring company that will come in and measure the amount of humidity in your walls, inside your walls, that they're not apparent. You can't see them from the outside, but you might be harboring a humid environment within the walls that will create mold and mildew and could be harmful. So we would advise you in that direction. And there are some telltale signs that we know how to identify, and we will get you in the right direction. But assuming that that's not the case, then we would come in, we would, like I said, take a very good look at the circumstances, and then we will make a formal quote where we will sit down with you to discuss it and give you all the line item details of that quote and what needs to be done, from the removal of the baseboards on the walls, from the removal of the hardwood floor that has been damaged, and how we will dispose of that. We will put in a dumpster in the front of your driveway. We will bring in a third-party company that's a specialist in removing glued down hardwood floors that you had in your home. They will dispose of all that waste and all that ruined floors. After that is done, we will make certain that the substrate, hopefully it's a concrete substrate, that it is in perfect condition to accept whatever new surface you have decided to put on it, being that laminate, luxury vinyl, or porcelain tile, whatever it might be. We will inspect the substrate. We will verify if there are any cracks in the substrate. We will address them and explain to you the importance of treating the cracks. Many people don't understand the importance of sealing the cracks before a new floor is installed. And let me just touch on that topic briefly. In Florida, because of the type of terrain that we live on, there is a lot of movement and there's a lot of sedimentation, and homes take a while, especially new built homes, they will take a while in settling. And what it does create is that the substrate will crack, the concrete will crack, the slab. The thing is that through that crack, it will produce some type of moisture and pressure. It's called hydrostatic pressure. And if that crack is not properly treated and sealed, any surface that you install on top of it might be exposed to some damage in the future. So what we go about is, if we find that cracks are what we call active cracks, we will seal them. And on top of those, once the cracks have been sealed, then we will inspect the substrate as to its flatness. And the most important aspect of any floor covering installation, no matter the material, be it tile, vinyl, carpet, laminate, whatever, the most important element in order to have a good and fine looking finished product is the preparation of the substrate. The substrate needs to be, in the case of vinyl, laminate, and tiles, that substrate needs to be as flat as possible. So we go in and we inspect it. Let's say when we remove your hardwood floor, we find that there are some ditches in the substrate. Well, they should be filled in with patches. Or there might be an area that had a lump on the concrete. That has to be ground out and make it flat. The flatness is very, very important in order to have a level floor once it is finished. And that's one element that we've noticed recently that many people don't comprehend or are not adequately informed by some installers, that they present themselves to have a lot of experience in tile installations. But I have been surprised by many people that have come to my desk asking for work because they are installers, and they tell me how much experience, how many years of experience they have installing tiles. And I'm delighted to have a conversation with them. But when I ask them simple questions such as maybe, okay, and in your last work, what was the open air expansion joint that you left in the perimeter of the tiles? And they look at me and they stare at me like they don't know what I'm talking about, like they have no idea. And they said, I said, when I tell them open air joint, they said, open air what? And then, it's not to berate them, but it's the fact is that many of the installers that we find in our industry are people that learned the trade through apprenticeship. They began as an assistant to a tile setter. And they began maybe just unloading the tiles, and then they learned how to cut the tiles, and then they learned how to mix the thin set, and then they learned how to apply the grout. And then after several years of apprenticeship, then they decide to venture out on their own, and they call themselves tile setters, and they try to install tiles. There's a technique. And in fact, there is a code of an installation that has been published by the Tile Council of North America. And you will be surprised at the amount of tile setters in our community that have never even seen the code, some of which they don't even know the code exists.
Wow.
And when you are in a project such as this, you need to be informed. You need to be very careful and make certain that the person that you are contracting has certainly the experience and the right experience. And how do you go about finding this out? Very easy. As a consumer, you have the right to ask that person, allow me to visit your most recent 2 or 3 installation. I would like to see the work, how it's been done, how it looks. I would like to have the feedback from your clients. And be open about it. I mean, it's your money, it's your investment.
Julio, that's called transparency and doing your due diligence. If the contractor, he's like, no, I can't do that. I don't. It's like, this is really easy. If you did a good job and you have what is called a raving fan, you're going to have a whole list of people that want to bless you and want to make sure that you do the same job that you did for them for other people. So always ask for referrals. And if you're able to see at their work, that way you can have the right expectations of how the job is going to look at the end. Because the last thing that you want is not to know. Then when you get the final product, fit and finish is not correct, and then you have to deal with the issue. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Julio, so when it comes, I know this industry is 100% different than ours. In our world, we find that vehicles are rolling computers with wheels, and there's a lot of electronics, and it could affect a lot of hidden damages. Will that happen on the flooring industry too, and the remodeling industry?
it will not happen to the degree that you are experiencing in your industry, in the automobile industry. But there are some very important changes that have occurred in recent years in our industry. And that's one of the reasons why it's so important that you select the right installer. And let me give you a couple of examples. It used to be about 10 years ago that we in our industry came upon a very serious problem. One of the problems was that the quality of the installation materials, namely the thin set is the mortar that is used to glue down the tile to the substrate. It's called a thin set or a medium bed mortar. It doesn't matter, but I'll be using thin set, so please understand what I mean. We had a problem with the quality of the thin sets and the quality of the grouts. The grout is a cementitious product that is installed in between the lines in between the tiles. The tiles are separated, and once they are installed, and that separation needs to be filled in, and that's called a grout line because it is filled with grout. Now, grout used to be exclusively a cementitious product, such as the thin sets was exclusively a cementitious product, meaning that it had a high content of cement in its formulation. When China was in pure expansion mode, they cornered the international market of cement and other materials, but we're talking about cement in this precise example.
Especially rebar. I remember that time.
Yeah, rebar and wood, wood, and other steel. They were all over the place. But in this scenario, they had cornered the market for the cement. So what was left over for other industries that needed cement for their formulations was not of too high quality. We started to find complaints amongst our clients. It started with the grout lines, where the colors of the grouts would vary in the same installation.
Oh, wow.
And we started asking ourselves, how can this be? I used one bag, the same bag. I mixed it once and only once. I didn't add any more water to it or anything else. It was just the same mixture, and I'm getting different shades of color. Well, we sent back those bags to our suppliers, and they took them to the labs, and they found out that the quality of the cement was horrible.
Wow.
So it was a major problem. So the big companies started devising a new product that used less cement and had other components in it, like polymers and other type of components, and they devised a new type of grout. Well, they did the same with the thin set, and they devised a new type of thin set. Here's the situation. These new products have a different preparation protocol before they can be used.
Awesome.
Many installers, especially in the transition, when we started bringing the new products in, they would ask us, they would bring back the bags of product, and they say, no, give me the old product, I can't handle this. This product is not good. They would not even take the time to read the instructions as to how to properly prepare them. And they just went about their business trying to finish the job as soon as possible. And they would go about mixing these products the same way they used to mix the old product. Well, guess what? These new products, because of their composition, have to be mixed differently. Number one, the amount of water they require is less. Number two, when you are mixing, you must use a slow revolution mixer. If you mix these products at a higher revolution than 300 revolutions per minute, you're going to inject air into the mixture. It's going to dry faster, and it's also going to give you inconsistency in the adhesion if you're dealing with a thin set. And on the grout side, it's going to give you air bubbles that when these air bubbles burst, they're going to render the grout, once it's dry, with It's going to look like craters in the moon.
Wow.
So
So it's just like our industry. You need to have trained and certified experts that know the product that you're going to be installing.
yeah, so
Wow.
what we did is we brought in experts from the manufacturers of the products that we sell. We are a direct distributor for one of the largest manufacturers of setting materials in the world, and they come from Italy. It's called Mapei, very well known company. We are a direct distributor of Mapei products. So we would bring in every 3 months, we would bring in a Mapei representative, and we would give all of our installers a training session with a new product. And when they found out the proper way to mix it, the proper way, the amount of water that it needed, the proper way to mix, to use the right amount of revolutions per minute in their mixer, everything worked well. And it worked beautifully, and they enjoyed it, and they liked it, and now they don't want to hear about the old products.
Wow.
So yes, there are some technology advancements that we have benefited from in our industry, but once again, like you said, proper training is crucial. So I would urge your listeners as consumers to be on the lookout for these individuals that claim to know, and I hope they do. I hope they are experts. I hope that you get what you are expecting, but do not be surprised that there are many individuals out there that, yes, they have been installing for many years, but they are slow to transition to the new modality of products, and it affects the end result.
I know Julio is being really professional and polite and being politically correct, but I'm going to say it. There's a bunch of people doing stuff incorrectly for 20, 30 years. I've seen it. I deal with it every day in the collision repair industry. We not everybody's a good fit in our organization. And people come, we invest a lot of money and a lot of time and resources training and certifying our technicians. And a lot of people, oh, I don't need to know. I already been doing this for 30 years. And yeah, I hate to be the one saying that, but you've been doing it wrong. Technology has evolved. Now we got to do everything how the manufacturer recommends to do things. And just because the final products looks the same at the end doesn't mean that you're cutting corners and deviating from the manufacturer's recommendations. You may not have any issues. You will. So I know we can make a whole podcast about just flooring, and I would love to have you, Julio, just so we can do one and educate the consumer just when it comes to flooring. But this one is mainly how to choose that contractor. Couple of other things. Look at the BBB. Go to the Better Business Bureau. Go to different sites. Look at what the reviews they have. And you know
Right.
something? Nobody is perfect. You're going to have bad reviews and you're going to have really good reviews, and some of them are going to be bad. You know what I tell my customers? Read the bad ones. Why? Because a company like mine, we know that we do everything that we can to make sure that consumer is happy, but sometimes you cannot make them all happy. So read the negative ones. That way, if you identify with those people, you may not be our customer, because we cannot please people that are unpleasable and they don't have right expectations. And the last thing that you want is hire a contractor, not set the right expectations. The contractor comes, there's no contract, everything is verbally. You buy your own products. You let him work with the products you bought. You probably bought the tile in XYZ store. You bought the thin set in another place, then the grout in another place, and you're like, there you go. Here's this cocktail of products. Make it happen. And then the guy does the best he can with the knowledge he has, and then you have a hell of a mess in your house, in your floor, in your bathroom. And then now what? He's expecting to get paid, and the expectations are not where they got to be. It's really important when you hire a contractor, make sure you read the contract. And if they don't have a contract, I will encourage you to just not do business with them, because a contract is to protect you as a consumer and to protect him as a professional. Because I've seen it. A lot of people, they expect you to work for free, and then they find one little complaint, and because of that little complaint, they don't want to pay you. So as a contractor, I encourage everybody, protect yourself with a contract. It's both ways, for the consumer and for yourself. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, Julio? I know we don't have much time. You got to go.
Yeah, I know I'm short on time, and I will be delighted to return in the future if you will have me to continue. But let me give you just to conclude, let me just comment on what you just said. Contractors, first of all, let's talk about the contract. Yes, a contract is important, very important. Please, as a consumer, the contract is there to protect you. Read it, understand it, discuss it with your sales associate. If you have any doubt at all, clarify it. Make certain that you understand your rights and your obligations in that contract. Make sure that the entity that you are using, be that an enterprise as ours or an independent contractor, make sure that they offer you a good warranty on their work. Things happen down the road. I mean, 3 months later after the installation, when it was finished, everything looked well, looked fine. Down the road, you might walk into the corner of a closet in your child's bedroom and find that the grout has come out of the floor, and you have an empty grout line. You need to find your installer, and you need to that needs to be addressed and taken care of under warranty.
Yep.
So it's very important you understand the contract and you understand the warranties that you have a right to. The other thing is the referrals. I cannot emphasize that enough. It's so important. Let me give you a brief anecdote of something that happened to me. I have this gentleman walking in. He's asking for work. He portrays himself to be an installer of many years. He was coming from Miami, and he had just arrived in Central Florida. And I asked him for referrals. Obviously, I'm not going to go to Miami, being here in Orlando. So he tells me that he has a lot of, that he photographs all his work, and he's trying to show me on his phone some pictures of work that he had done. Fine. It just happened that he showed me a picture of one of our jobs that had been posted on the internet. When I stopped him, I said, wait a minute, how about this job? Talk to me about this. He said, well, this was this property in Miami, and this was a large format tile. It was imitating marble, blah, 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 what was obvious from the picture. And then I said, my friend, unfortunately, I don't have room at this moment, and nor do I have need, but let me give you a piece of advice. If you are going to ask for work, it is very important that you are truthful and forthcoming, because that picture that you just showed me, you took it down from the internet, and that is a picture of a job that we did within this year, and it was posted on the internet by the homeowner because they were so pleased with the work that we did. And his face turned paper white. So my point is, a phone can show you whatever picture it has in there. A piece of paper will accept whatever ink is there. Make sure you know what you're getting into. Like Juan said, have the right expectations and make certain that they can be achieved.
There's so much.
So I'll leave it at that.
There's so much to go over, Julio. I know we ran out of time, but I will invite you again so we can do several podcasts. I know now that we've done the first one, I think you will be good, so we can do more. And please, guys, if you have a flooring need, you have a flooring expert and another ally that will do the right thing for the right reasons for the right people. That's a Rigo Tile Gallery here in Orlando. Give him a call. set up a consultation. They even are open after hours. If you're working late, that's really cool. I just saw Rigo doing a live on Facebook. I was like, oh my God, Rigo he just wants to serve the community. He's just like us. Call us, book an appointment, make sure you're going to show up. Don't leave us stranded, and we'll wait for you, because we want to service you. And
Juan, we have Juan,
locations.
Let me just comment on that. We have opened our doors at our Orlando store on a Sunday afternoon after church, because there was a church member that he only had Sunday afternoons to be with his family because he was a truck driver and he drove all over the United States Monday through Saturday. The only day he had available was Sunday after church. We opened the store for him, and we will do that for anyone that makes an appointment.
Anybody that respects our time and our expertise, I'll do it too. But it's one of those things, Julio, that people know what we're all about. That's why we started this Allyz Community Podcast, because me personally, I'm sick and tired of especially how the insurance companies are slandering us and telling people that we're doing things wrong. When all we're doing is watching for the consumers, doing what's right for them and right for our team. And thank God that we have raving fans just like yourself that have experienced that. And that's why our promise to the community is expose the truth, educate and edify and empower the consumer so they can make informed decisions when it comes time to hire an expert in the area. At least when it comes to vehicles, that will be with us. If they need flooring, that will be you guys and many others. But that's our promise to our community, to bring them value so your hard-earned money that you spend is well invested. Not always the cheapest is the best for you. Sometimes it's better to spend a little bit more than you get a better value and you get longer term. Like me, Julio, when I did the floors at the shop, I called Rigo. Rigo came to my shop. He's like, Charlie, this is what we need to do. I believe this is what I recommend. At that moment, I remember I loved, it was a beautiful tile. But at that moment, we didn't have the budget. But he said, you know something? Go with this one. I think this will fit your needs and it's right in your budget, and I'm being super happy. You guys did the installation, and everybody that comes to my shop, they love how professional, how clean, how well the place is. So I am a customer of Rigo Tile. They did one of my properties too, and I was really pleased. They did an excellent job. They cleaned up after themselves, and they didn't leave another job to me to do the cleanup. That's huge in the flooring industry. Anybody can slap a floor together, but then you got to deal with the nightmare of the cleanup and throwing away the carpet and all that. Make sure you have a good person. But Julio, thank you for blessing us. You have any closing comments for our Orlando community?
Well, not really. It was a pleasure sharing this time with you, and I hope that we can, if this podcast will help just one person, it was well worth it. And once again, we're here to help and to advise. And feel free to contact us. So once again, thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure sharing this time with you.
And the pleasure was mine too. We're definitely going to do more. And like I always said, never take advice how to collect your money from person that owes it to you. That comes when it comes to the insurance companies. If you're making a claim and you're going to be repairing your home for an insurance claim. Last week, we had a public license adjuster and an attorney. If you want to see that one, go to that video. It's an amazing video that tells you how to make sure you don't get ripped off by your insurance company when it comes to do a home restoration. And this is just a tip of the iceberg that we're showing to the Orlando community, because we have more experts lined up. We're going to bring health experts who are going to help you to choose the right insurance for your health, the right doctors who are there to serve you. So there's a lot to come. I'm so excited what 2024 is going to bring for us. And thank you, Julio, for being here. And I just want to bless the Orlando community. And please like us, subscribe, share our content. I hope you see our heart. Our heart is in the right place. We want to share with you. God has been great with us, and we are blessed. And we just want to educate the community, because as times get tough, more people are going to try to take advantage of the consumer. And that's when good business that have been in this community for over 20, 30 years, they're going to emerge. Because when the economy gets tough, he will get rid of all the bad people who love to take people's money and take advantage of them. And that's our promise to the Orlando community. And like Julio said, if one person benefits from this video, our job was done. So have a great day, and thank you for being here with us. Please like and subscribe and share this video. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.